Hey everyone, I'm here to present you this scene which I've worked on last year, but I've just now touched it up a little bit to make it a little easier to use. So what is it exactly? It's, to put it shortly, an easier way to kind of adjust the quantities of different objects in matrix scatters. To illustrate it, I've put just a simple cube to be scattered, but I've colored each of them differently to show off like the different kinds of objects. Let's say the red objects are grass objects and the blue ones are trees, for example. And just to show it off, let's say we want more grass objects. So let's make this red area here bigger in this gradient, and we'll see that, you know, this kind of unicorn vomit looking thing has more red objects in it than it did before. Let's say we want more green objects. Let's make this green area wider, and we can see we get more green in there. Why I'm showing you here in the Redshift viewport is because apparently Maxon messed up in the 2024 release sometime, and the viewport is a little bit broken considering matrices being modified by fields. So this is just a backup. So, but this is still useful in its own way, but it gets really interesting if we're not doing just a random distribution, but if we're using noise, for example, FBM noise, we get these really cool looking patterns of different objects that we can scatter on this plane or any landscape really, where you would put matrices. And I think this is really cool to kind of get different patterns in here of different objects which don't overlap each other, which is often the problem with randomly distributed stuff. And in this way, you can really just put the objects where you want them to be. Let's say the red still is grass, and then you have these yellow ones being trees or something, and they won't ever overlap such that any object is inside of any other, where they shouldn't be. But as you can see, when I'm switching around these noises, you can see that the distribution of the coloring is different. And that's not really a problem of this way of how we're distributing them. This is the way how noise is created. So you can skip this part if you want to. But this is just a short little theory on noises. Just picking this out, a hammer noise has way more black area than, for example, an FBM noise, which I've kind of analyzed a little bit. And you can see here for each noise, I've created a distribution of which values are more frequent. So when we're looking at Booyah noise, we can see there's a lot more black present. So when we're switching this to Booyah, we're expecting a lot more red than the other colors, because this gradient, starts from 0, goes to 1. And if we want to adjust them accordingly, we can kind of drag these around to make it a little bit more even. But yeah, this is just a quick little scene that you can use if you want to quickly adjust different objects in matrices and their quantities of how they're distributed in some really cool way. You can put them here in your objects like you would with any Redshift matrix. And yeah, here you can adjust where you would put it, how many of them. You can, change the seed. And that's basically it. Hope you'll have fun with this, and maybe it's of use to you. Cheers.